What's up, everybody? Walter here. I'm here with Jim. So a few months ago we made a video talking about Blade Runner because I did the top 5 best Ridley Scott movies, and a lot of people were wondering why I didn't put Blade Runner in there, and I don't really love that movie. I mean, as I said in that other video, I love the way it looks. It's one of the best looking movies I've ever seen, but I just didn't think it was this amazing thing that everybody else did, I guess. But I wanted to talk about Blade Runner 2049, okay? Because this movie, we talked about it last time. We were excited for it because the trailers looked great.
I said I was cautiously optimistic. It looked really good, but I was like, I was nervous about it.
Right. But yeah, so I love Blade Runner 2049. I saw it twice, and I thought it was amazing. I mean, everything that I had a problem with in the original Blade Runner, I felt like that all melted away with this one because it combined the looks, which were incredible in this one as well, with a story that people could really connect with, that I could really connect with at least. And there's an emotional center with Ryan Gosling's character and everything with Kay. And is he or isn't he? But we're going to be going into spoilers on Blade Runner 2049, just in case you haven't seen it. See it. I would recommend seeing it. Would you recommend seeing it? For
sure, absolutely.
And see it in theaters if it's still in theaters. If you can catch it somewhere.
It might still be playing a few places.
Yeah. But I would definitely suggest seeing it in theaters because seeing it up on the big screen is an experience for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's an emotional center in this movie that definitely wasn't as outwardly visible in the original. With I mean, there's definitely some emotional stuff with humans and replicants and what is human and Rutger Hauer's character and everything. But this one was way more. It felt more relatable. You know what I mean? So yeah, they combined the look and the amazing Blade Runner look with a really, really good story and kind of a mystery too.
Yeah.
And had great performances across the board. Nothing was dull for me in this one. Where the original Blade Runner, I was it was hard to stay awake sometimes. Sorry. But 2049, it's a super long movie. It's like a 2-hour, 45-minute movie. But I wouldn't cut anything. I was interested, so invested in all the silent moments, everything, all the build-up was perfectly done, I think, in Blade Runner 2049. Where in the original Blade Runner, I thought some things I just didn't understand, or I just didn't connect with, or whatever. For whatever reason, I just thought was boring. Where the silent moments in here, and silence is used a lot in 2049. There's really good music and stuff that's thrown out, and sound effects too. But I think the score is great.
Score is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but the silent moments are just as well done and are very important when when there is no sound at all. Yeah. It's still engaging. So yeah, I love Blade Runner 2049. What did you think of it overall?
No, I was kind of I was very, very pleased with the entire film. Like I was cautiously optimistic because I mean it looked great in the trailers and stuff like that. I really wanted to see them flesh out that world a little bit more because you could really expand on that world, but they could also really mess it up. You know what I mean? There was so much potential to really screw things up and try and modernize it in a way that didn't really fit with the original world and stuff like that. And you got such a gap of time between these films that they had to fill in. I mean, you're literally 30 years from the previous film. But I thought it was great. I thought it was beautiful to look at. And like you said, the performances. Really, all the performances were spot on.
I think Bautista at the beginning, Dave Bautista,
absolutely
freaking awesome at the beginning of that movie.
He's amazing, and he's just got a little part, but the emotion and everything that he conveys through his performance was a great way to set the tone for the rest of the film. Like that whole opening sequence, which I also loved because that was originally supposed to be the opening of the original Blade Runner.
Okay.
I had seen the original storyboards.
I remember you told me about this. Yeah, right.
And it looked awesome. They did it beautifully. I thought that whole scene was great. I liked that right away. We're spoilers, right? Doesn't matter.
No, we're spoilers. We're gonna spoilers.
Right away, that Kay is a replicant. There's no question. That's not a part of the mystery of the character or whatever. You just know right away. I thought that was great. And Ryan Gosling, he was great as that character. He totally played the character. There really wasn't anything I didn't like about the film.
I can't point to anything like if I had to think of anything I disliked about it. Not off the top of my head, man. I don't know. It's been a few weeks. We were supposed to do this video a few weeks ago, so it's not as fresh in my mind as it was then. But I can't think of anything that I was like, no, this is stupid. No, I think everything was built up perfect.
Yeah.
Performances were great. The progression of the character development with Ryan Gosling's character was perfect. Everyone around him did really well. When Harrison Ford shows up, what was that, like 2 hours into the movie?
Yeah, right. But
he was great.
He was great.
Man, he was
it was
so
one
good.
of one of his best performances.
Yeah, I think so. Because he was just a grumpy old man. He was like, well, he's just not really acting much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He basically was just playing Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I always imagine, like, if I ever showed up to Harrison Ford's house, that's how he would treat me. You know?
Yeah.
He'd point a gun at me, we'd get into a fight, and then hopefully we would,
You'd fall off a
drinks.
balcony, and then you would, yeah. Oh, by the way, the stuff in Las Vegas was incredible.
Yeah.
Like the visual design of him going through the desert and seeing all these giant statues and stuff leading up to that hotel that Harrison Ford's character was at. That was awesome. And then actually inside the hotel, I love the Elvis projection.
Yeah.
And just popping in and out like this broken projection program or whatever that was happening. With all these holograms around and stuff.
Like the dancing girls here, and then Liberace and stuff.
Right. It was a great idea for a backdrop to an action scene because there's this unpredictability what's happening. You don't know where they are in space and everything. So if that pops up, is that like someone shooting or is it just that thing spazzing out? It was just a great idea. And then that whole start, was it Viva Las Vegas that was playing? Or it was some Elvis song that was playing. We're like, I love this song.
Oh, yeah.
That was fantastic. And then I love the little sacred Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the globe thing or whatever.
Yeah, right.
You put some change in and he plays, it's like a jukebox, but it's like him performing. And I was like, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
And they didn't like cut that short. That wasn't like, he turns on really quick and it's Frank Sinatra, and then like Harrison Ford walks in and they have a conversation.
Right.
They let that breathe and like, I was like, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. So, that just goes back to the look of everything and how it really plays into the story too. I mean, they use the look of everything to drive what's happening on screen. It's not just like, oh, that's pretty. I mean, everything's a part of the world.
No, for sure.
And it fits. So.
Like you said, there were so many silent moments in the film, but they didn't lull. There was like each frame of film was like a beautiful painting to look at.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It was like there was something visually that was not only pushing the story forward, but it was just mesmerizing to look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then with the sound design and everything, it really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the moments with that was a silent moment that led into like it was like a synth reverb was when he was looking for the wooden horse in the furnace.
Yeah.
And there's just this bum, and then build up kind of Inception-y, I guess. But it works so well, and then he finds it, and it's just like it's real. It's like, oh my god. That was a great moment. That's one that sticks out to me, where they combine like this silence leading up to it until there's this big crescendo of music and visuals, and he sees the horse, and oh man,
where you feel the weight of that moment.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, amazing. What were you gonna say?
Well, I think I don't know. We're gonna go. Are we gonna do a comparison? Or
definitely we compare. I just want to get all our thoughts out on.
Yeah, right. Oh, I definitely have more thoughts about 2049.
Yeah, keep going about that first, then. Yeah.
No, but I all right. Another thing I want to say too is the whole aspect of Deckard being a replicant is still a mystery, which I thought was brilliant.
I agree 100%, because I remember seeing all these interviews recently that Ridley Scott was saying he is a replicant and we're gonna make sure that in the sequel that's gonna be in there. And then in this movie we don't get that answer. We get a question again: is he or isn't he? And they don't answer the question. I'm like, good, because now people aren't gonna be upset either way.
No, right. and it still service the story. You know, you don't necessarily need to know, and it gives you more questions, which is great. Like, you should leave a movie being able to discuss things about it. You know what I mean? And have theories about it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Those are the best movies. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When Rachel comes in, what do you think of that scene? When her clone or whatever comes in that Jared Leto's character created, and then we see that little interaction between them. Did you like that, or do you think that was too much?
I thought when I kind of sensed it coming, I thought it was going to be too much.
Yeah.
But actually, I thought they handled it pretty well.
I thought it was pretty perfect. I mean, even with the effects, with the what gives away these de-aging effects or whatever is when they talk or move like expressions and everything on their face, and they cut away almost every time she talked. There's only like one moment where they actually showed her mouth move where it looked a little weird, but it was a really good effect. I think one of the best
I think
recreation of faces.
Part of it, like you said, they were smart about how they did it, the way they lit the whole scene and stuff like that too. It was really smart. And so I was actually okay with it. I actually thought that sequence worked really well. Yeah. I thought Harrison Ford delivered some of his best performance, like just his reaction and the way it was believable. Like you totally bought into that his character. So I was like I think one of the things I was more nervous about was I don't know if this is gonna work. This could be where it kind of.
I just love the line that her eyes were green.
Yeah,
damn. So Jared Leto, I think, was causing a little stir before this came out because the director was like, he's amazing because he puts blind stuff in his eyes, and that's so method, bro.
That was the one thing I'm that I was nervous about going in, from the trailers. I'm just I feel like that's the character I'm gonna be like.
I mean, I think everybody has a bad taste in their mouths after Suicide Squad with Jared Leto. So I mean, this was. I wasn't really looking forward to seeing him in this.
No, me neither.
But he's not in it all that much.
No, right.
I mean, he's in it some very important scenes, but he's not the main. I guess he's de facto main bad guy, but you don't really see him that much. So he doesn't drive a lot of the story. It's more about Kay's journey of finding out is he or isn't he a replicant or was he born, that kind of thing. So, I mean he was tolerable.
Exactly. I don't feel like he detracted anything from it.
I didn't think he was great,
which was fine.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, thank
that's
God.
what we needed for him not to kind of ruin things.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but he was tolerable in this. He was fine. There's nothing about his character that irked me too bad. I mean, the first time we cut to him, we had that really long scene with him and Love. Love is his replicant, and he just kills that replicant that he just made for I guess to prove a point. I'm assuming.
I think it was partly out of frustration and the whole thing is about what the Tyrell was able to create life, basically. They reproduce.
Right.
And so this is another failure of his, he was it's his ego trip kind of of playing God. Sort of this is not a perfect replicant then because.
Yeah, so might as well kill her, I guess. Yeah. But how that scene started, I was because everything up until then, I was yes. And we got at the beginning of that scene, I was we're gonna start going down this. But then they went into the stuff with the replicant and everything, and that got a little bit more interesting. I was okay, I get it. But then we didn't go back to him, and I was all right. Yeah. All right. This was great.
They really kind of made Love more of the antagonist. More so.
Yeah. She was really cool
and she was
too.
She was fantastic.
She was the scene where she crushes the glass in the lieutenant's hand.
Oh yeah.
That was a great scene.
Rights, whatever,
that was a great scene, and she has all this pent up rage and just random emotion flowing throughout her.
Like a child.
Exactly. But she doesn't know how to express it, or just isn't used to expressing it maybe. And all you see tears coming up from her and stuff when she's angry, and it's so good.
No, yeah.
She had a great performance. I don't know the actress's name, but she was fantastic. So, that fight at the end too with her and Kay, that was great. Or Joe, I guess by that point. Joe, another one of my favorite scenes too is when Joe at this point is walking. This is after he's saved by the resistance or whatever you call it,
He's
replicants
and the
replicant army, whatever. And he's walking away from them, or I think that's in the rain actually, or is it? Or I don't know. It looked great though. I remember, and there's a big advertisement for what was the hologram? I don't remember the name.
I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name now, but his hologram assistant, whatever,
love interest
person. So there's this big advertisement for it, but it's just a giant version of her, and she's pink and blue, and she has no pupils, and it's kind of creepy. And she comes down, and it's in all the trailers. So you look like a good Joe.
Yeah.
And just that moment where he realizes what everything with him, because she kind of named him Joe, because she was pushing this whole thing of you probably are the son of these two replicants or replicant human, whatever. And
you are special. You are individual.
You are special and unique. And then when that comes up, and you could kind of see this realization come over him that it was, she was just a robot or whatever, or she didn't have as much of a program, right, to adhere to make him feel comfortable, and he wasn't.
Right.
Where he is still. I mean, he's a replicant, but he has human emotions. Like I know they're built without. They're supposed to be built without them, but they.
Right. But obviously,
he snaps in this movie too. Like when he sees Deckard's daughter later.
Major emotional response when he realizes or feels that he is then the child of.
Exactly. So I mean, they do have emotions, him especially. So when we see,
and love too, like for sure, like her.
Oh yeah, she has those throughout the movie as well, but it's more subdued and like kind of come out in bursts.
Yeah.
But that scene, just like that moment, like of realization, kind of washes over him that he isn't like special, and like all this stuff comes over him, and it was. I just love that scene. There's no words from him. It's just this weird giant hologram pointing at him.
Right.
I thought it just kind of like hammers home the point that how lonely he kind of is, and even though he had this person he thought was with him the whole time, she wasn't really a person, and
and you got a sense too that that he knew, like there were moments when he's like, you don't have to say that, like when she's like, I love you, or I don't know if she says I love you, but she says
I know, like, she would say something to like make him feel comfortable.
Being with you or something like that.
You don't have to say
he's
that.
like, oh, you don't have to say that. Like, so like that awareness that he knows that it's a program. This is not real, but that he still has this connection or whatever. Yeah. And like then that moment too where they're out and they're in Vegas or whatever, and Stephanie's got the device or whatever that she can like travel. She's not locked to.
Yeah. Right. I know.
And and love smashes it or whatever. Like, I generally felt for him at that moment. Like
absolutely. Up until then, I mean, because you're still. Because with Blade Runner, that's kind of the whole point of these two movies is like what is human, what is not. So you're kind of trying to rationalize that his love interest or whatever did have human emotions and stuff, and you could kind of rationalize that she's so far advanced AI that she is kind of human. But then when you see later that comes up, that kind of throws everything back in your face.
Right.
So it's. Yeah, but up until then, I mean, you feel like that connection between, or at least from his end. You feel like that he's definitely getting something out of that, where it's a positive thing.
Right.
And then when it's love crushes that little stick.
And even that alone is like that longing that he needs that connection with someone else. You know what I mean? Like, because it's clear that like he's treated like crap in his position. He's a slave, basically. He's a slave.
Yeah, when he's walking through the police precinct the first time, and someone just calls him a skin bag or something, he's just
skin job.
Whatever, he just kind of has like this kind of knee-jerk reaction where he just doesn't want to get hit or thinks someone's going to attack him.
Right.
And he's all bloodied up and everything because he fought Batista. So that was another good scene to kind of hammer home the sympathy that we should have for him and everything. So man, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really like that stuck out to me about it, but. It's really an experience seeing it in the theaters. I mean, the first time I saw it was just standard format. I went out to LA a few weeks ago and saw it in IMAX.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I saw that at 11 p.m. their time, so it was 1 a.m. for me, and it's almost a 3-hour movie. So that time that was finished, it was like almost 4 o'clock in the morning or past that because of previews and stuff. So because of that, I was like just tired, and I just got in that day from flying, so. I wish I could have like focused more on it, but there's some points just like it's 4 o'clock in the morning. But no, I still got a lot out of it, and the whole the scene at the end when they're fighting in the water and everything. I thought
that was great.
Yeah. Also the very ending where they go up to the I don't even know what you call that, where Deckard's daughter is at, where she creates the fake memories that go inside the replicants and stuff.
And even though she had like a big part, she was great too.
Oh, when she said this is a real memory and she starts crying. Yeah. Because she's kind of an off-kilter character, we thought that's kind of part of her personality. She's just crying because she knows this is a real memory, but then we realize later that's her memory.
Right.
And I'm still not super clear on everything about that situation.
No, right. And I love that there are some questions
totally.
Did she implant those memories into replicants in order to like start the resistance or to find her? To like, or was it
Deckard who I don't know, tried to throw the trail off, or I'm still not sure. I think they kind of confirmed this, but I'm still kind of wondering. I think it would be cool if there was like a boy a replicant, a male replicant of the born Deckard's daughter.
Yeah, that there were twins.
So there were twins and he was killed earlier or something, or
Yeah.
I
See,
don't
I
know.
thought that they just muddied it up, so it was like there was always just the girl, but there was never a boy.
But they tried to
they tried to deflect it, sort of.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's I don't know. There's still like stuff that we don't know about and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna make another one, but
no, I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't.
I
You don't
think
need
to anyway.
You don't need to. And it sucks that this didn't do so well.
I know.
Like, not a lot of people saw it. It was kind of a flop.
Right.
Because it cost so much to make. Obviously, if you see it, you could see the money that's in it. So,
Yeah.
I just saw a behind the scenes little featurette too, where they showed how they made the miniatures for the city and stuff.
Right. I just posted, something.
Yeah, was that you?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So that was freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you could tell that it had that tangible, real look.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that hazy kind of, in the first Blade Runner, I mean, you have those, the city, we go through the cityscape and everything, and you have this kind of hazy, weird, but it's like almost neon colored world, and they captured that perfectly in this too. So it was like the exact same thing.
Yeah, they updated it in a way. It was like, because the first one definitely isn't an analog world. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the retro future sort of, because
right.
it came out in 1981, and they still kept that look but updated. You know what I mean? Like it was still kind of an analog world.
Yeah, I mean it's 20 years, 30 years in the future for them. So
people weren't using like iPhones. There wasn't like that kind of that technology.
But there's different kind of thing, like with his hologram companion and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which her introduction I thought was really cool, because we didn't really know what was going on at first. I was like, he has a girlfriend, or it was like she can't be a regular girlfriend.
But then immediately you know right away, it's like you kind of get the sense like, oh, okay, this is this hologram.
And then she comes out with, I love the little projector thing
right.
that moves around with her, and
Right.
she places like the food over his like sludge or
yeah,
whatever.
right.
That was great. So yeah, there's things that we still don't have, but it's still this retro future.
Right.
And it's handled, I think, the best out of any movie ever. It was like that kind of retro future thing. So, I love this movie. I can't wait to watch it again, but I don't know if it's ever going to have as much of an impact as seeing it on the big screen.
Yeah, I am kind of curious to see how it translates when I because I'm going to own it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Absolutely.
But I am kind of curious to see how it's going to really translate on a smaller screen. If it's going to have, I don't know if I doubt it'll have quite the impact.
I don't think it can.
But even the original Blade Runner is sort of similar to me. Like, I had first saw the original Blade Runner. I saw on VHS when I was or on cable when I was a kid. It was the first time I saw it, in '83 probably, or when it first came out on cable.
Right.
And it wasn't until the 10-year anniversary that I saw it on the big screen, and it was like seeing a completely different movie for me. Like, it had a different effect. It was the director's cut, and so that was like, oh man, this is I think that's what I already liked Blade Runner, and I thought it was a cool movie, but I think that's what set me off, is like, oh man, this movie is actually, there's way more to it. This movie's awesome.
Sure. So yeah, on TV, I mean, I'm thinking it'll still be good, but is it going to be? Yeah, it probably won't be as amazing.
Yeah.
As seeing it on the big screen and stuff. So let's get into comparing it to the original one. So I love, like I said before, I love Blade Runner 2049.
I was actually surprised when you were like really excited to see Blade Runner 2049, because you didn't like the
because
I know you appreciated the look and the style.
No, I loved how it looked.
There was not as much substance.
Right. I mean, I don't know what the deal was. Like, I'm not sure exactly what they're. I still don't really quite understand the original Blade Runner in terms of like why they thought it would work this way, and without going into a really interesting story. I mean, like I said before in the other video, I think that we've seen that kind of what's human, what's not human, AI and everything done so many times. Yeah. So by the time I actually saw Blade Runner, it was like, well, this is the first one to do it. So because of that, it's this groundbreaking thing. But I've seen it done, arguably better and just more intricately and more interestingly in other movies. So when I saw the original Blade Runner, it was like, yeah, we have. Is that the big deal?
Yeah.
Because I've seen this so many other times.
Right.
Yeah, with 2049, I mean,
it does take those same elements, but it really adds something else.
No, it has a strong emotional center and a core to it that everyone can connect with. I mean, we're rooting for Kay the entire movie.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, I want to see him. We wanted him to be the son of the born son of Deckard and Rachel and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that had it going throughout the whole thing. And then even when it was revealed that he wasn't, it was the heartbreak of that and seeing him react to that, and then injecting Harrison Ford in the movie and how things shook out for him was just as interesting. So it's I don't know.
Yeah.
But the original one, I besides Rutger Hauer's performance, which I thought was really good, I mean, I just never understood what the big deal was about the story and everything. But the look, obviously, like I said before, I get why. That's,
right.
You know, that's...
Well, I think definitely like Rutger Hauer, like Roy Batty or whatever, his character in the first one is the emotional center of that film by far.
Sure.
Deckard is...
He's kind of...
He's just he's like kind of more of a one-dimensional character.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah, kind of. I guess that's probably a good way to...
Because I mean, he kind of
you're
explains
following
a lot of
him
stuff
through it, but you don't have as much of the emotional connection with his character.
Because he's kind of a douchebag.
Right, yeah, exactly. He's kind of an ass. And so really it is like it's Roy Batty's story. Like you totally sympathize with his character at the end of the film,
right? More
than Deckard, and so it's really more proving to Deckard's character like that life is worth something more, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, like that last scene with him dying is great.
Yeah,
but it's like the whole movie kind of had that kind of punch.
Right. But then I think that it worked so well that with his character in this one, that it definitely it felt like that moment then had an effect on the rest of his life. Like
what was his line? It was like to really love someone, you sometimes you can't be there or something. There's some kind of line like that where he was trying to protect his daughter, so it was like sometimes to love someone you gotta not be there. So it was something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But his more reverence for life and everything was felt in this. I mean, because he created all that stuff just so his daughter could survive and everything. So he definitely had that carried over, and that scene definitely had a big impact on him in this movie. So yeah. I mean, I just think 2049 is like clearly better. I don't see the debate besides like the groundbreaking stuff in the first one. Like it's groundbreaking for visuals and maybe for the AI type story of what is human, what isn't human. Just I think this one was so much better. It took everything from the first movie and like I think it's miles better. But that's just me. I'm sure a lot of film nerds out
there. The
hardcore
fans be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah, well, they tell me that anyways.
Actually...
Spider-Man Homecoming in the top 5 best Marvel movies? Jump off a cliff!
I'm a big fan of the original, so...
Yeah.
I'm
more
kind of on the fence
because your opinion about it, for sure.
There are elements about the original, and part of it, I guess, because there's so many different versions of the original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so many different ideas based from the writer, Hampton Fancher and Ridley Scott and David Peoples or whatever, who all the different writers, and they all had different ideas and aspects of what the characters meant and what the story meant.
Yeah.
And Deckard's character specifically, which creates all this lore about whether or not he's a replicant, and they all have their own different view on it.
Harrison Ford says no. Ridley Scott said yes.
Right. Yeah. Hampton Fancher. I think actually Hampton Fancher said, he's like, there should be the question is the important element of.
Yeah, that's smart.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence, almost leaning towards 2049 being the better film.
I'm guessing you'd have to probably see it a few more times before like you make a final
full-on decision. I feel like I have to, and I feel like I have to see. I have to rewatch
watching back to back.
Yeah, and see how.
Take a nice nap while watching the first one, and then wake up for.
That's a full day. Those two movies.
Yeah, seriously. Was that like 6 hours or something?
Yeah.
So you're thinking
I am kind of leaning. I am
sort of leaning
towards, because like you said, I can't find a flaw really with 2049.
I mean, I'm sure there's a few things here or there if I really try to analyze it, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, are those like small things that I have to really nitpick to find? Are they a big deal in the long run? No.
Right.
I loved it. I want to see it again. Like, you know what I mean? It just
That's one of those movies where when it gets like the re-release and
I'll
definitely be like, I'll go see it again.
If it's in the theaters again, I'll absolutely check it out again in a few years or something like that. But maybe that's one thing from watching it on Blu-ray at home is we could kind of rewind and see a few things and
we'll revisit it in like in a year and be like, well,
right,
let's see.
break it down a little bit more. But I really loved it, and I'm happy that I loved it. I can finally say I love a Blade Runner movie.
No, like you saw it before I. Yeah.
Yeah, because I told you I loved it. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I was just so pleased that it wasn't a train wreck, and then it went well beyond my expectations. I really did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. So. Yeah, those are our thoughts. Let us know what you thought of Blade Runner 2049. Is it better than the original Blade Runner? I'm sure a lot of film buffs are going to be like, absolutely not. But I think this one just took everything that was in that first one and made it so much better. So.
Yeah, they made it more tangible and
right.
Yeah,
and there's just more stuff to connect with in this. So I loved it. Jim loved it. Let us know what you guys thought. If you haven't seen it yet, like I said, try to check it out on the big screen.
Right.
I mean, we kind of spoiled it for you this entire time.
If you haven't seen it, well, sorry.
Yeah, we gave you the spoiler warning.
Right.
But yeah, let us know what you think of it in the comments, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Go see it!